place to go. I have no place to go. I have no place to go. They kicked me out. They kicked me out. They kicked me out. I have no place to go. I'm gonna take my stuff and take it someplace. Not really sure where I'm gonna go. I'm just gonna move my junk. I think what I'll do is like set up a shop. Maybe inside of a mall. That's right, yeah. Inside of a preppy mall where they take 15% of my profits just to sell furniture, like stuff made out of old cardboard boxes. It'll be great. I'll make all sorts of money. I'll sell little things that I created myself from crafts. I'll put my hard time and work into it so some little kid can come in and steal everything I've ever owned. That's right, I think that's what I'll do. Can't afford an office. Can't afford an office. Got a place to go. Got a place to go. Got a place to go. Hey, I know. I'll build myself a tree for it. I have no place to go. 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 They kicked me out. They kicked me out. They kicked me out. I have no place to go. I'm gonna take my stuff and take it someplace. Not really sure where I'm gonna go. I'm just gonna move my junk. I think what I'll do is like set up a shop. Maybe inside of a mall. That's right, yeah. Inside of a preppy mall where they take 15% of my profits just to sell furniture, like stuff made out of old cardboard boxes. It'll be great. I'll make all sorts of money. I'll sell little things that I created myself from crafts. I'll put my hard time and work into it so some little kid can come in and steal everything I've ever owned. That's right, I think that's what I'll do. Can't afford an office. Can't afford an office. Got a place to go. Got a place to go. Got a place to go. Hey, I know. I'll build myself a tree for it.
Hello. Good evening. Hello, friends. It's Bill, and you are watching Bill's Box of Sound. And the loveliness of Diet Coke, a little bit of lemon, a little bit of lime. That's all you need. I mean, a little bit of black velvet's fine as well, but lately I just haven't been taking advantage of the alcohol, and I'm not complaining. So hello, welcome to the live stream. My name is Bill, as you know, and Roman will be joining us in a little bit. Don't have his chair here yet, but I will be getting it once he arrives. Anyway, lots of stuff going on. Okay, a question has already been asked even before we went online tonight. And the question was from Mark Patrick Bihar. Let's bring it up on the screen. And it says, "Hi, Bill. Would you please let me know if when Frank played with Rahsaan Roland Kirk, if it has been recorded and then published, and if yes, on which album? Thanks." Well, I do have an answer for you. Frank did play with Rahsaan Roland Kirk once, and it was recorded, and it was at the Boston Globe Jazz Festival, I believe in January of 1969. Now, up until recently, no known recording was available of that. And Kevin, who was in the chat room, will be very interested to know that there is a version of this available online, and you can listen to it for free. It's not exactly downloadable, but you can listen to it. It's on SoundCloud, and the name of the guy who recorded it is Denny Sanders. Now, if you're from Cleveland, you know who Denny Sanders. You might know who Denny Sanders is. There was an influential radio station in Cleveland, WMMS. And he was one of the main DJs on it, but he came from Boston. Anyway, he sneaked a tape recorder into the jazz festival. A little teeny reel-to-reel one, because cassettes pretty much were not that proliferative back in them days. He sneaked a little portable battery-powered reel-to-reel recorder, and he recorded it. And the tape's been sitting around for many, 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 many years. He has put it up on his SoundCloud page. And as a matter of fact, hold on a second. Let me go on ye old internet and find it here. Let's see. Here we go. All right. If you go to soundcloud.com, let's see if I can do that here. And let me pop that over there. And let's see. I put this right here. Okay, Denny Sanders Files. Okay, this is on soundcloud.com. Just search for Denny Sanders Files. And you'll be able to see, if you scroll down a little bit, past Denny on WMMS. Oh, I got Laura Nero at Boston Music Hall in 1970. But right here, it says Frank Zappa and the Mothers with Rahsaan Roland Kirk at the Boston Globe Jazz Festival, January 31st, 1969. He posted this about 6 months ago, and the entire file is 51 minutes long. It's not the easiest to listen to, but you can make out what's happening, and it's extremely, extremely wild. So if you're into it, check it out. What I did is I used what they call the analog hole and recorded it into a digital interface, and then put it onto a digital audio workstation and edited that and burned that to a disc. So you can't buy it. The Zappa Vault does not have that recording in it. But if you want to hear it, it is available there. So, good news, it's available. Bad news, it's not that great sounding and you can't buy it. So, that's what's going on. So, let's go on through some other chats, shall we? It says here that Chief Dancing Ostrich, good evening. I just discovered that PlayStation had released MTV Music Generator 3 for the PlayStation 2. I did not know that before. And I know that you are a PS2 user. Very cool. What else? We got Nate Bouchard. Hello to you, Nathan. And quick thing here. Paul, as is his standard, he comes on and says, "Hey, Bill. Hope you're well. Just wanted to say hi, and then I'll watch the recap later. I'm with my wife in Washington visiting the national parks." Very cool. My older stepdaughter was in Washington last week, and on business purposes, and she said that her biggest dilemma while being in Washington was which Smithsonian to visit. I've never been in Washington, D.C. myself, but I intend to go someday. And yes, believe it or not, the same Denny Sanders that you and I listened to back when we were quite young. Let's see. Very nice. Very, very nice. Cool about that, Chief Dancing Ostrich. Okay, and let's see. Do we have anything else in there? No, that's about it.
Hello.
Hello, how are you? Come on in. We've got Roman in the house. Would you like me to get you a chair?
Yes. Please.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you. You hang out in the chair, the big chair, the Bill chair, and say hello to everybody. And I'll be right back with your chair. All right. Have you said anything yet?
No,
Why not?
I didn't want to.
They're waiting for you. Your public awaits.
I'm just spinning.
Let's think. Oh my gosh, it's Roman. I love Roman. He's awesome.
Oh, I'm so excited to get back on.
Well, in that case, I'll get down a little bit closer to your level, and I'll move this around a bit. So, now you can see both of us. And I'm going to nab just a tiny bit of my Diet Coke because I'm talking too much. My mouth's getting dry. Ooh. Wow. Okay. So, music. And zappa, 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 zappa. We got all sorts of stuff to show. One thing is, I made a video some time back about classical music that I got into because of my fascination with Frank Zappa. And one of them was Anton Webern. And I had a 4 CD set, or a 3 CD set, on Sony Classical that with Pierre Boulez and several different ensembles. And it was supposed to be a complete Anton Webern set. However, it said Volume 1, Opus 1 to 31, and I didn't know what else it was. Somebody commented on my video and said there is a larger Anton Webern set that has 6 CDs in it and a very expansive booklet. This has a number of pieces that were discovered after his death, including arrangements of other composers' pieces, and pieces without opus numbers. Very cool. So if you're into that stuff, Berlin Philharmonic, it's on Deutsche Grammophon. If you look around, you can find a copy of it used, because I believe this is out of print. I was able to find this on eBay for $20. It's like $100 set. So very interesting listening. If you're into classical music, this is not your usual classical music. As Frank would say, there's a lot of space between the notes that you would not expect. But he says, if anybody ever came close to deserving the word saintly when it comes to composing music, he said Anton Webern would be it. He's back again. And Kevin says hello to Roman. All right. So, big thing that happened a couple days ago. We had a death. A very important person passed away. Oh, look, your mom's saying hi too. Anyway, so Tony Bennett passed away. Great singer. This album, I think this album came out maybe when I was like 2 years old. This is ancient. But I was at a record show just this past weekend, the day after the last live stream, found this album, and this guy had a whole bunch of albums for like $2 a piece, and this is in perfect shape. Looks like it's barely been played. Still had the shrink wrap on it. I had to pull off the shrink wrap so that we could actually see the cover. It's called Alone Together. This is him with just an orchestra, no jazz trio, no jazz ensemble, all slow songs. Kind of odd. I've also got, by the way, I'm showing you my Tony Bennett records. I Gotta Be Me, popular songs of the 60s, arranged in a Tony Bennett style. What else we got? I've got a greatest hits album, Tony Bennett's all-time greatest hits. The only bad thing about this 2-record set is that all the songs that are recorded in mono are electronically reprocessed for stereo, and they sound like dog poop. So take
Literally?
that. What?
Literally?
No, they sound horrible. It's like what they do is now the difference between mono and stereo is mono is one speaker, the same sound coming out of both speakers, and stereo is where you've got all the instruments spread out between the two speakers, and it sounds much more lifelike. But when they made mono, which is one speaker, came before stereo, which is two speakers. And then after everybody got stereos in their home, they thought, well, we got all these old mono recordings. Why don't we make up some electronic process that would take all the frequencies and split them up between the two speakers, so when people listen to it, they'll think it's stereo. It sounded terrible. Just telling the truth. Anyway, one of his comeback album, in my opinion, from 1986, The Art of Excellence. This is surprisingly good. I think this guy just got better as he kept on aging, older and older and older. And the most recent album, his last album, and he sounds great on this album too. Love for Sale with Lady Gaga. Jazz Standards, the Cole Porter Songbook. So,
I think Ava likes Lady Gaga.
who likes Lady Gaga?
Ava.
Oh, okay. I remember your mom liked Lady Gaga music at one time too. But Lady Gaga does a lot of different things. She sings, this type of music, and she also sings pop music with dance beats and everything else. She's a very different artist. And I picked up a bunch of records for $2 a piece at this record show I went to. They call it a record riot. They have them across the country, and got a couple of albums that I'm probably not going to be keeping. Steve Miller Band, Rock Love, one side recorded live, one side recorded in the studio. Not his best album. It was recorded as the band that he had was kind of breaking up, so he had to kind of like piece something together for the record company. Wasn't that great. All right. Got a Fleetwood Mac album. This is the last album of the part of the version of Fleetwood Mac that had Bob Welch. Heroes Are Hard to Find, and it's basically Mick Fleetwood, John McVie, Christine McVie, and Bob Welch. And right after this album, Bob Welch would leave, and they would get Stevie Nicks and Lindsey Buckingham, and the rest is pop history. But so far, this is not one of my favorite Fleetwood Mac albums. I like the other albums that Bob Welch did with them. They're pretty good. Like Bare Trees and Future Games. Then Play On. Good records. And last week, I'm pretty sure I showed you that I went into a Goodwill and got a copy of this. Tubular Bells. For like less than $4. Well, the next day I went out and got another copy for another $2. Cleaned up both of them, and they're both noisy. Historically, the American version of Tubular Bells, very noisy vinyl. So I may seek out an original or a reissue of that on UK vinyl. That would be nice. Also, last week was my birthday. Really, really appreciated the birthday wishes. I wanted to show something that I bought last week, but we ran out of time. Got this vinyl brush. This is from a company in Denmark called AM. And that, right there. And I've already got one of their brushes right here. It's kind of a clone of the Audio Quest brush. The Audio Quest brush is right here. I've done videos about this. The Audio Quest brush, it's made of carbon fibers, very, very small. They get into the grooves of the record and get the dust out. You use this before you play a record. You just very lightly zoom it across. But I thought that AM was putting out a new kind of record brush. So I ordered it. And this thing came in through Amazon. So I was like, this seems to have some more heft to it. I'm going to open this up. So pulled it open. And look at this. Drawstring. And all this yellow stuff. It says AM Denmark, clean sound since 1971. And I'm thinking, what the heck is it in here? And this is a carbon fiber brush. Haven't even opened this up yet. There, just rip it open like that. And this is a cooperation between AM and a record label called Fool's Gold. It says Fool's Gold all over it. And it's the same old type of carbon fiber brush, but hey, it's a brand new one. So with the number of records that I play, I buy new record cleaning brushes about once a year because eventually they get worn out. That's just the way it is. So you can take this and then put it back into this, and you can go hang it up someplace near your turntable. So that's that. And believe it or not, there is new Zappa news. If you are signed up on Zappa.com, or if you're signed up through Universal Music for Zappa updates, you may have gotten an email that says, and I'm going to read the email here. Let me just pull it up. I'm going to read it, and it says, calling all Zappa freaks. It says, the Zappa team has been thinking about creating a new Frank Zappa immersive experience to bring this community together, and we're thinking that a cruise vacation might be the best way to do that. In order to do this right, we want to build this together. So please sound off on the below survey, which would make this event the vacation of a lifetime. And I'm thinking, what the heck is that? So give me a second here, and I'm going to switch my my sharing preferences. There it is. Okay. Okay. So let's go back. Ah, there it is. The Frank Zappa Experience Cruise Survey. Now, I don't, if anybody here has ever gone on a cruise, you may also know that there are these things called classic rock cruises or rock legends cruises. What?
Check on the chats.
Check in the chats. Okay, hang on a second. Let me go to the chats. We go here and just go back to me. And It says here, oh no! What's going on here?
Not that. Not that. Look down.
Okay, I see Warhite giving me some Russian here, and I have no idea what that says. And I think that's kind of, this is, okay, well, first of all, let's just go down these. We've got this Russian here, and we've got this one here, which I think means please. And what's going on here? Did you log into YouTube through your iPad? You sneaky. So I know I am the best YouTuber in the world, aren't I? I think there's better. There's better. I'm just one of them. But all I have to say is I'm really hoping that you're keeping it clean there, whoever you are. Warhite and Ale. So I'm thinking that you are a friend. But honestly, I do not understand Russian. The only way that I'm going to know that is I'm going to go onto Google Translate and find out what it is. So give me a minute here. I'm going to try and... how do I do this? Let's see. I can't do that. And I can't do that. I can't grab that and copy it, so I do apologize, Warhite. But we'll figure something out. Anyway, let's go back to our shared screen with the Frank Zappa experience, okay?
Amazing.
Yeah. So it says here the Zappa team has been thinking about creating a new Frank Zappa immersive experience. And imagine you and a couple of thousand fellow Frank Zappa fans all on a cruise ship heading somewhere tropical, which would probably mean it would leave Florida, while watching never-before-seen performances, taking in behind-the-scenes panels, engaging in endless conversations with fellow fans, and relaxing on the ultimate vacation for the best of what the 20th century has to offer. In order to do this right, we want to build this together.
Wait, is it for you?
Well, it's for anybody who is a Frank Zappa fan. Now, do you remember when me and Grandma went on a cruise? We went on vacation for like 5 or 6 days, and we went on a big ship. We told you all about it. You were littler. It was a few years ago, so you may not remember. But,
no, I don't remember.
Yeah, it wasn't a music cruise. It was just a plain old cruise. So, if you click on this, you can look at this, and they ask you questions. How long have you been part of the Frank Zappa community? And for me, it's coming up on 50 years. It says, have you ever seen Frank Zappa live? If so, how many times? I mean, I saw him 7 times. Have you ever seen a Frank Zappa tribute band or the Bizarre World of Frank Zappa hologram performance? I haven't seen the Bizarre World of Frank Zappa. I saw YouTube videos of it, but I've seen other Zappa tribute bands. For example, Zappa Play Zappa, seen Dweezil live like 3 times, 4 times actually. What brought you to Frank Zappa's music? Tell us more about how you show your love for Frank Zappa. Let's see. Well, let's check this off. I subscribe to the mailing list. Yes. I listen to every episode of the ZappaCast podcast. Yes. No, I don't have a Zappa tattoo. I don't have any tattoos. I own multiple pieces of Zappa merchandise. Well, you know that already.
Yep.
I regularly buy box sets and special edition items. More or less, yes, I do. I organize meetups with other Zappa fans. Well, that's what I'm doing right now with you guys here and other things. And what I wrote in this little box is, have you seen any of my YouTube videos? Ask you to share a favorite memory or connection to Frank Zappa. How many times do you go on vacation a year? Have you ever been on a cruise? Talk about it. List the musical artists that you'd like to see on the event. Of course, I want to see the Zappa band. I wouldn't mind seeing Steve Vai or Dweezil on there as well. Anyway, so what else would you like to see aboard? Podcast people? Comedians? Help us curate your ultimate immersive event at sea. How interested are you in each of the ideas below? We can't promise to make them all happen.
Wait,
But-
so you're going on a vacation?
Well, what these people are doing is they are thinking of putting together a big cruise where all these people who love Frank Zappa are going on a big boat, big ship, and they're going to go out for 4 or 5 days and just completely immerse in Frank Zappa-ness and then come back and they get off the boat. That would be the vacation. So if this happens, I would love to go, but it's probably going to be happening in a couple of years because there's a lot of planning that goes into these things. So, okay, so here's things that they're suggesting people would do: unique collaboration shows with multiple artists, behind-the-scenes Q&As and panels with family, band members, and friends. That'd be cool. A live taping of the ZappaCast podcast with special guests. I hope Joe Travers would be on the cruise. Now, I know that the Zappa band has had a different drummer, and they've gone on the Cruise to the Edge, which is a progressive rock themed cruise. I've seen videos of that. I'm going to have to ask Joe why he didn't go. Maybe he just wasn't able to go on those cruises. Anyway, a museum with never before seen Zappa items. That'd be ultra cool. Exclusive access to purchase Zappa collectibles and new merchandise. A Bizarre World of Frank Zappa hologram show. I'm more interested in the music, not the hologram.
What's a hologram?
A hologram is where they take like a videotape of something, or they take a photograph of somebody who has been specially scanned, and they project it up on stage so it looks like there's a real person up there. So what they did is they had films of Frank Zappa, and they had a whole band of everybody playing, and they projected Frank Zappa's image on the screen and synced it up with the band so it seemed like Frank Zappa was alive again and performing with these guys. That's a hologram performance. And, of course, a merch swap with fellow superfans and screenings or listening parties of not yet released films or albums. That I'd be very interested in. And let's see, what other things would you want to see or hear that would make this a 100% can't miss event? And then what type of cabin would you be interested in purchasing for the cruise? Because this is a 4-night experience. It would include all shows, meals, and your accommodations. This does not include alcohol or specialty dining, spa, or shore excursions, because anytime that you buy alcohol, it costs money. There's also special drinks. You can buy these drink packages and stuff like that. And then they've got special theme restaurants on cruises. And they're not cheap, let me tell you.
I bet my mom would want to go on a cruise right now. I bet she's thinking that.
Maybe she'll take you on a cruise someday. Would you like to go out on the ocean in a huge ship?
I've been on a ship before, so I would go.
Oh, you've never been on a ship this big. It's like the size of a small city. It's like, okay,
Is it like the size of the
have you ever been to the mall? Imagine a boat the size of the mall.
Oh God!
And it's like 100 feet high, and it's got 12 floors. Now, your mom wouldn't like a cruise because there's elevators all over the place, and your mom hates elevators.
Oh, because she thinks she's gonna get trapped.
And there are other people like that as well.
Only if it's a fire or a thunderstorm.
Yeah.
That could happen.
But cruises are extremely safe. I've been on like 4 cruises. Anyway, aside from that, they give you an interior cabin for $900 to $1,499. This is not cheap, boys and girls. $1,500 to $7,900 for an ocean view cabinet. $2,000 to $2,199 for a balcony cabin. A suite between $2,200 and $4,000. Oh my gosh, I would never be able to afford that. And then it says, if you had to decide right now, how likely are you to join us on this epic vacation at FZ? FZ. So it's I'm in or I'm out. I would say I'm in. I talked to my wife about it. It says, you'd love that. You should go. So if you answered I'm out, they want to know why. Where do you live? how old are you, and that's pretty much all of it. Now, you could only take the survey once. I had to go to somebody else's computer and bring this thing up so that I could copy it and show it to you folks. So,
What computer did you do?
yeah.
What
Okay.
computer did you use?
Right. Oh, wait a second. Carlos Van Chang. Okay. Are they trying to scam us here? Oh, you know what? That looks familiar. I've seen. Yeah, let's block Warhite. I do apologize. I'm gonna have to block you. I'm sorry. All right. Thank you, Carlos Sven Chang. I appreciate that. When you said that, I remember that person has made some comments on some of my YouTube videos, and that when I investigated them, they went to malicious sites. So, thank you very much for doing that. Oy, 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 oy. So, what do you think about that? Would you want to go on a Zappa cruise? I personally would love to go on a Zappa cruise. Now, the folks at the ZappaCast have asked me if I would like to appear on a future ZappaCast. Don't know which one, but in a future one, I may help them out with some stuff. And I'd love to go and like maybe help them with trivia contests or moderate a panel where people would speak and answer questions from the people in the crowd. I think that would be monstrously cool. But I'd like to find out what you folks think.
Why'd you block them?
Because I'll explain. I recognized the name of that person posting. And some time ago, there was a video of mine on YouTube, and that person posted something, and it was like a link to another page. So I'm thinking, what is this? So I kind of look at the link, and I found out they're trying to sell me something. And it's like, okay, they're trying to get me to buy something, or they're trying to get the people who watch my videos to buy something, and that's not cool.
Scammers.
Exactly. So that's what Carla said. This is corporate phishing, which is it's a scam. So I blocked that person, and
we hate scammers.
Yeah. So I do apologize if those were legitimate chats, but I don't think they were. So that's that. What other things have been happening? Let me put my guitar back here. I showed this last week. Oops, sorry. John Coltrane with Eric Dolphy, Evenings at the Village Gate. This just came out. It was recorded in 1961, August.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
And this was recorded live at the Village Gate. It's a mono 2-record set that just came out. Costs about, I think, around $30, maybe $40, somewhere around there, depending on where you buy it. Now, if you're thinking about picking this up, I'd like to tell you a little bit about it. You may want to pick it up. You may not want to pick it up. It depends. This is a... Did you turn it down a little bit?
I turned it down all the way.
Oh, okay. All right. This 2-record set is a mono recording. It was recorded with one microphone at the Village Gate. It was recorded by a sound man that was making some test recordings to check out the sound system. And as a result, got the entire performance several nights. And there's 5 tracks on here. My Favorite Things, When Lights Are Low, Impressions, Greensleeves, which is kind of like a rehash of My Favorite Things, only with a different swing to it and different chords. And Africa on the last side. Now, this is kind of almost sounding like a bootleg, but the sound is clear in the case that you can hear every single instrument. It's just kind of a thin sounding recording, but it's not all distorted. It doesn't sound like the whole recording is clouded by people talking. This is an excellent performance. I really enjoyed it. I've seen people reviewing this online that say, "Oh my God, I can't stand the sound. I didn't even make it to side 4. It was so horrible." But I enjoyed it. I've listened to this thing twice already. It's pretty good. If you have any doubts about this, I would search it on YouTube and listen to it on YouTube, and you'll get a very good idea of what this sounds like. You may be very, very nicely surprised, but you may listen to it and say, "Oh no, that's definitely not for me." What else is going on? A couple of other new bargain records that I picked up. Let's see. I already showed that stuff. Oh yeah, I got these for $1.99 a piece today. There are still good bargains to be had at these bargain malls. I got a copy of the U.S. version of Best of Traffic for $2. Cover's in horrible shape. Record seems to be all right. And speaking of all right, I got the 12-inch single of All Right by Janet Jackson. The reason that I want this 12-inch single is because there is a version of the song All Right on here. What is it? It's a 12-inch house mix, is it? Yeah, the 12-inch house mix and also the 12-inch R&B mix. It's got Heavy D rapping on it, and it's really, really good. So, if you dig Janet Jackson, and if you dig Heavy D, the overweight lover in the house, this is good, and only $1.99. Next, I've got, this is something I'm very interested in listening to. Chester and Lester, yes, Les Paul and Chet Atkins, and I know they made 2 albums, so I believe this is the first of the 2. Yeah, and only $2. Very good playing. I know Kevin's heard this record. And let's see, one more 12-inch single. Kathy Dennis, Just Another Dream. Wish they would have had Kathy Dennis Come On and Get My Love. I love the 12-inch version of that song. Very nice. Very, very, very nice. So that's what's going on with that. Hello, anybody out there? Chat room, hello. Anyway, and let's see. We did have a regular viewer of the live stream that had a birthday this past week. On the 19th, on Wednesday, Lauren T had a birthday. Ah, good, thanks. Thanks for letting me know you're still, you guys are all still alive and out there. Because right after I blocked that guy who was doing the Russian fishing, nothing else showed. So let me raise my seat back up and go back to my regular thing. Now, the other thing is next week we have a very, very special show. Why, you might ask? Well, it's been a long time coming. And next week at this time, we will be featuring and telling you how you can get your own copy of the Spudlock album called Bleh. It's very close. This is the actual cover, And we will see this album next week. And I'll let you know how you can get your very own copy to Rumple and Fetish on your very own. This is a weird record, but if you like unusual music, you'll love that record. Oh, see my wound? I bumped my elbow while pulling a pizza out of an oven this week, and I got a very nasty blister. So I got this huge freaking bandage on me. Oh boy. Other stuff. Oh, I forgot. There's one other Tony Bennett album I have. I think I showed this before. The Tony Bennett Bill Evans album, which I have a test copy of a repress of that. Thank you very much. But yeah, big old blister formed of that. So hopefully it'll be okay. So, also, let's see. Frank Zappa was a legend, but the tropics are too hot for my liking. Maybe for a trip to Iceland or somewhere colder. Hey, one of my stepdaughters went to Iceland with her husband, and they loved it. Now, maybe going on a cruise during the winter time, because that's when I've gone. But I would never go on a cruise this time of year for two reasons. Number one, extreme intense heat. And now that global warming and climate change are definitely a real thing, no doubts about that anymore. You would never go during the summer. Number two, hurricanes. We don't want hurricanes. We don't like hurricanes.
Wait, hurricanes coming?
No. They're only to a certain part of the world. We don't get hurricanes here in Ohio.
Or tornadoes?
Not usually in this area. We've never, knock on wood, we've never had a tornado in this area. Huh?
Or tsunami?
Tsunamis are caused in coastal areas where there are oceans. We don't have oceans in Ohio.
Okay, we're good.
We're good. Later, bye. No, we're back. Okay. I wanted to quickly talk about something because, on Frank Zappa albums, and he started with this very, very, very early on, with this thing here, he says, don't forget to register and vote. Okay? So I'm saying this, I'm going to do this next subject because voting is very important. And speaking of Ohio, anybody who's watching this or listening to this who is in the state of Ohio has to pay attention to this. There's going to be a special election on August 8th, and there's only one item on the ballot. They are putting this thing on the ballot, which is to get rid of majority rule for issues. So, say, for example, if they want to add a tax, and they put the issue up on the ballot, and it's going to change something with the state constitution. The way that elections work is people go to the polls and they vote. And if more people vote against it than for it, then against wins. If more people vote for it than against it, for wins. Get it? One person, one vote. If more than 50% of the people, if more than half of the people vote one way, that's the side that wins. Does that make sense?
That makes 0 sense.
It makes 100% sense.
Not to me.
Okay, well, let me put it this way. Let's say we take 100 people, okay? And we say, we are going to go and get a snack. Now, we're going to decide between ice cream or cookies. So you have to decide what you want the most. So, you got 100 people and they all vote. And 40 people say cookies. But the other 60 people said ice cream. who would win?
Ice cream?
Right, because that's more. Okay? So that's the way it is when you vote in an election. You go and you vote, and whatever gets the most votes wins. Does that make sense?
I wish
Yeah,
I
it
could
makes
have
sense.
won.
All right, well, they're trying to change things around so that they're going to change the laws so that when they have this type of election, if less than 60% vote on one of them, then it won't pass. For example, if 59%, more than half, almost 60% vote for, it's not going to pass. They're going to take away majority vote. This is a weird thing, and it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense for anybody, whether you're a Democrat or Republican, or if you don't subscribe to any political party at all. So, I'm saying this to the people of Ohio. Vote on August 8th, I believe, 2023, and vote no on that issue. It's called Issue 1. So, that's it. I'm done talking about politics and voting. I'm sorry if I broke into your little music conversation, but, you know, if Frank were watching, Frank would be mighty proud. Because, you know, he would say stupid facts make stupid laws, and stupid laws make for bad government. You have to choose who runs your government, because if you get bad people running your government, a lot of people are going to be unhappy. So that's that. Okay, music. What else are we going to do? Oh, we got 8 minutes to go. 8 minutes to go. Next week, I want you to tune in so that you can find out how to get your own copy of the Spud Lock album called, can you say it? Meh. That's right. You can get the whole album, which has all this stuff on it. It's got all the words, the nice ones and the naughty ones, and there's a record inside too, with about 40 minutes of music. All right. Roman's already beaten on the synthesizer, so I want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. Stay tuned for your local news, except on the West Coast. I had a great time. I hope you did too. Go listen to some music. Take care of each other. Be friendly to each other. Love you guys. I'm going to start making some funny noises. Yeah! That was great! Whoa, whoa! Hey, alright, alright. Yep, stop, please! Hey, enough! Enough!
The duck was quacking.
The duck, yes.
That was a duck.
Yes. Zeb made a very a clever observation, saying that sounds like the synthesizer that was used in the Talking Head song "Making Flippy Floppy," which, yes, you're right. That's what it does sound like. The synthesizer that Bernie Worrell was using on that song. I'm gonna play that for Roman after we get off the air, because if I played that record, the YouTube gods would block my videos. So just you can seek out that song that the Talking Heads used. Yes, very cool. Thank you very much.
I'm glad we make our own music.
Yeah, we do make our own music, and it's a lot of fun, and hopefully we're going to get more involved in it.
If people want to use our music, they have to ask us.
Yes, and you never know. Someday we may make a record. That'd be awful cool, wouldn't it?
And I'm obviously going to use that pitch.
Okay.
And for the end, I'm going to do this.
And he's going to do what? Okay, and that's it. We've hit 1 hour. Good night, folks. Thank you very much. We'll see you next week, friends, for a Spudlock special. Bye.